Welcome to Arirang News. In Seoul, I'm Devin Whiting. Ceremonies were held on Saturday in Seoul and on Ganghwa Island near Incheon to celebrate the return of ancient Korean texts that were looted in the 19th century by French troops. And Korea can look forward to more of its cultural assets coming home over the next 6 months under an agreement with Japan. Yoo Ji-hye reports.
A welcoming ceremony for the return of ancient Korean royal texts from France was held at Gyeongbok Palace on Saturday in downtown Seoul. The 297-volume Waegyu Janggak books that feature the protocols of royal ceremonies and rites have been flown back to Korea in 4 separate installments since April, after President Lee Myung-bak and his French counterpart Nicolas Sarkozy agreed in November to transfer the books on a renewable lease. Attended by more than 1,000 officials and local residents, the celebration included a procession of palanquins carrying copies of the ancient artifacts, traditional ceremonies, and performances. In a speech at the ceremony in Seoul, President Lee expressed appreciation for the accomplishment and said that the government will try to retrieve other Korean cultural properties scattered around the world.
우리의 국력과 대한민국 국민의 열정에 의해서 돌아오게 됐음을 깨닫고 국민 모두에게 진심으로 감사의 말씀을 드리고자 합니다.
A similar event with more than 500 people taking part also took place in and around the site of the ancient library in Ganghwa Island off the northwestern port city of Incheon, where the books were seized in 1866 by French troops when they invaded the Korean island. Seoul has been actively seeking to bring back such assets via government-level negotiations, including an agreement with Japan which came into effect on Friday, under which in 6 months' time, Tokyo will return more than 1,200 volumes of ancient documents it took during its colonial rule of Korea from 1910 until 1945. Earlier in the day, President Lee also held a meeting with a group of experts who work for the return of cultural assets that are scattered around the world, as the country has suffered war and other tragedies in the past, to encourage their work and express appreciation for their accomplishments. Yoo Ji-hye, Arirang News.
Those ancient Korean royal texts were discovered 36 years ago at the National Library of France by a Korean woman who was working there. Our Hwang Sung-hee sat down with historian Dr. Park Byung-sun for her view on their long-awaited homecoming.
So let me begin by asking, can you recall to us when you first discovered the Korean royal text Waegyu Janggak?
I did not discover the books. I merely came across them. The word could be misleading, but I just found the books by chance. People in France do not know the significance of the books, so they don't understand why Koreans make such a big fuss about them. But think about it. These are the books that were presented to the king. We as commoners would not have been able to even go close to the texts. And the smell of ink when I first opened the books, it remained there even after more than 100 years. I believe it is the biggest gift that I have ever received. No word can describe the feeling.
So the texts have finally been returned to Korea through 4 shipments. What are your views on this?
The fact that the volumes have finally returned to Korea is a joyous occasion. But since it's not a permanent return, only a temporary rental, it makes me sad. So what we have to do now as Koreans is to work together to eliminate the word rental. This is not something the government or even the president can do, which is why I am pleading with the public.
And can you tell us what brings you to Korea this time?
To be honest, I don't know myself. I'm here to attend a ceremony to celebrate the return of the royal text. This visit may be too much for me. I could get very emotional. Although books can't speak for themselves, I can't even imagine how overwhelmed they are to return home after so many years. I just had to come.
In your view, what measures should the Korean government take to protect our cultural heritage?
There's a list of objects that were seized by the French military in the book I published in 2009. As for the ancient royal texts, there are a number of them in Korea. It'd be good to have all of them back, but it's really important to bring back the Jade Book, which is a document of the Queen's virtue engraved on jade stone.
오늘 나와주셔서 나와주셔서 감사합니다. Thank you for joining us today.
정말